today is my first ever comic book review. I like to call this 4-color fantasy review. So I'll be reviewing a bunch of comic books here. I'm not showing you the pictures of them yet because I'm going to go through them one by one. But here they are. Alright, so first up, we have some from last week. Didn't have a chance to make the full one for last week, but I still wanted to review these comic books and show you them. So the first one is Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin. I have to tell you, I was having some doubts about having a story about two people who haven't been in the Star Wars world in a while. But you know what? Charles Soule and Cachetto did an awesome job. Cachetto is, I'm probably destroying that name. If I am, hopefully the artist will correct me, is the artist on this one. And the coolest thing is the artwork. It's amazing. Most of it takes place in a land that's, well, it's like it's in a snowstorm, and it really feels like they are in the snowstorm. The story so far is, well, it's the first issue. So the story, like all Star Wars stories, starts with a scrolling bar of information. So this takes place soon after Obi-Wan takes on Anakin as his apprentice and teaches him the ways of the Force. There's a flashback scene to them being at the academy where Anakin is being trained, and you get to see Obi-Wan talking to a few different people. I'm not going to give away who he's talking to. It's really cool. What they do is they end up on a planet. That is called for help, or at least they use a distress call from an old Jedi Order. So, and then Obi-Wan and Anakin go there to investigate what's going on and to see what's going on and to help the people out. And it's sprawling. As you'll see right now, I'll show you some pictures of it. Don't worry, I won't give away anything to you. But the sprawling landscapes are amazing, amazing. Chikecho has done a great job of making this look fabulous. And the colorist and the inker do a great job of helping his viewpoint of what this world looks like and what Anakin and Obi-Wan look like come alive. It's wonderful. And Charles' writing is amazing. We're reading some of his other works, and I'm probably going to be talking about those in a few weeks as well. And next up, we have Doctor Strange #4. This one is by Aaron and Bacalo, or Bacalo. I don't know how to say that one either, but Bacalo has been around for a while. One of the first places he started was Generation X for Marvel. He did a revamp of a new group of young mutants, but that's not about mutants. This one's about supernatural, and boy is it supernatural. Not only is it Doctor Strange, the first half of the book, you get to see all these other supernatural beings from the Marvel universe. You got the Scarlet Witch, you got Shaman from Alpha Flight, you got Dr. Voodoo, you even have Magic Ileana Rasputin there, and you have a few other people I've never even heard of, but they're in here too. One of them is actually a guy dressed with a Lucha Libre mask. It's pretty cool. And his art is great. The first 4 or 5 pages, though, is amazing. It's all grayscale. That's right, grayscale. I'm going to show you a little bit of it right here, too. You'll see that the grayscale makes it so pretty, and it comes alive in a way I never thought possible for just having grayscale. And it gives you a sense that this is something that's happened in the past. It's not happening in the moment. It's something before, instead of something now. And the story is really good. It's actually the middle of the plot line. So what's happened is Doctor Strange is finding out that something's going on in the mystical and supernatural world. He's trying to figure it out. He ends up having a helper who is a librarian who works in New York. So in a way, she acts like a newcomer for us who are not new to Doctor Strange, and allows you to get a better idea of his world. But not only is his world, but you actually get to see what he's like at home. That's right. Most of the storyline takes place in his home. The last 3 issues have done that as well. And it's really great because you get to see what his house looks like on the inside. All the different levels and the different places I mean, there's one scene where it's just a set of doors that go on and on forever, and Chris Bachalo does an amazing job of showing you this world and showing it in a very fluid and beautiful way. And some of the paneling is amazing too. I'll show you some of the paneling now, so you'll see how the panels stretch out. Instead of them all just being squares and stuff, you can make some panels that come across a sweeping overlaid on another panel. That's the whole page. It does a great job of introducing the characters, and the storyline by Aaron is amazing too. I love the way he brings in some wit and witticism to it by having us find out that since he's doing all this magic, some of that energy is actually going to go somewhere. And he comes to find that when it comes to doing all this magic, some bad things occur. And one of those bad things that occur is eating habits. I'm just going to leave it at that. Next up, we have Secret Wars number 9 of 9. That means this is the last one in the series. This, in my opinion, is a really good story. It's a wrap-up of a summer event, epic event, that just was a crossover for all the different Marvel comic books. But they had some scheduling issues and some printing issues. So instead of this coming out in, I think, October, it came out this month. So issues 1 through 7 came out on a timely manner, but with issue 8 and 9, they came out a little later than they were supposed to. But it was worth the wait. I can tell you now, worth the wait. If you can pick up each issue separately, do it. If not, get the trade paperback or the hardcover soon, because they'll be coming out soon. So the story is this. Something happened in the Marvel Universe. Well, a few things happened. It actually starts way back a year ago. If you read all the Avengers titles in the last year, you start to actually see the forewarning, the foreshadowing of what happens in Secret Wars. And it leads up to a battle royale between all the good guys and the bad guys. You get to see Thanos, you get to see Doctor Doom, you get to see Galactus even. Galactus, just beautiful. And the artwork is amazing by Saad Rubik. Just amazing. And the covers, I think all the covers were done by Alex Ross. That's right, all the covers by Alex Ross. This is one of them. It's really cool. I would show you some artwork from inside, but too many spoilers. I don't want to give the storyline away, other than it ends what's been going on for a while that leads to the retcon, or the reimagining of the Marvel Universe. To me, it compares, I'd say it's almost on par with the original Crisis on Infinite Earths that took place in 1984. Because what happens is, as each book explains, the end is near, or the end has occurred. And that's what happened. The end occurred. Everything was gone. Everything. And it all got remade. It's just, well, how it got remade wasn't what you'd think. And so what happens afterwards? That's what it is. The end of this leads into everything that's happening now with all the #1 issues that are coming out in Marvel. The new Uncanny X-Men, Uncanny Avengers, A-Force, which is an all-women's Avengers squad, the issues with the Inhumans becoming popular and getting their own titles, and all the craziness that goes on there. So if you can, pick it up. Amazing story. Next up, we have from Dark Horse Comics, Buffy the Vampire number 23. What's really cool about this issue of Buffy the Vampire Slayer is that it gives you a chance to start in on it. If you haven't been reading it lately, it's okay. It's a good starting point in my opinion, because you get to see where the characters are at, you get to see some interactions with them in a way that we haven't seen in a while. And the best part is, Joss Whedon's the executive producer, as they call it on this, or the editor, I guess. It's written by Christos Gage and drawn by Megan Levins. Beautiful artwork. And it's season 10. If you haven't been following Buffy the Vampire Slayer, there were 8 seasons, no, excuse me. Oh no, I hope I don't get that wrong. 7 seasons of the TV show. And then they decided, you know what, a few years ago, just like a year and a half ago or 2, they need to make more. So they brought it back in season 8, 9, and now season 10 of the comic books. So the story thus far is magic disappeared, magic has returned, and they're trying to figure out how to make the rules of magic work, the new rules of magic. So this episode, or this issue, you get to see how they try to work together with all the big hubbub of the supernatural world, and how they can make things better and keep out any of the stuff that's trying to come in that hasn't come in before. But also, there's a subplot that's going on that actually starts the story off as Andrew. If you haven't been reading the comic books or the storyline, go back and meet Andrew. Really cool character. Start off as a bad guy, has become a good guy. He's told by a supernatural being that if he wants to help one of his friends who's dead, that he wants to bring back to life and give new life, if he wants to help him, he needs Buffy's scythe. Well, Andrew has a choice to make. Either betray Buffy and all the friends he's made to help a friend that died and bring him back to life, or not. So that's one of the things he has to do. Buffy, on the other hand, she has to decide, again, how she can help the supernatural community make the world a better place and safer place. She recently joined up and has been contracted with the American government to help stop and end some of the evil forces and things that are going on. I like this one better than the last two because this one is a little less just drama story. The last one was a bit more a drama story, just about the relationships, the triangles that go on. This one had a little more action, a little more suspense, and really kept you on the edge of your seat about what was going to happen with Andrew and what was going on with the new supernatural order of things. So, if you're into Buffy the Vampire Slayer and you haven't been reading it, pick this up. Start here. Good starting point. Or, if you want to, go get the trade paperbacks and the hardcovers and see the last 2 seasons to get caught up. So, thanks again, Christos Gage and Megan Levins for doing a great job. And thank you, Joss Whedon, for letting this happen. Because I love this TV series. I came into it later than it actually was on TV, but enjoyed it immensely and enjoyed this too. Okay, moving on. We have an interesting one. So this here, it's all white on one side. But on the other side, I've begun to do something I never thought I would be doing on a comic book. That's coloring it. Look, I got to color it. So this month, I think just this month, DC Comics decided to do some adult coloring variant covers. So you could actually do your own coloring because adult coloring books have become popular. So I did a little Periscope earlier today. I'll see if I can add that to this video of me drawing it. So I started drawing it, made her cape that she has purple, the stars are yellow, and her skirt is blue, and just colored her in her hair. So that's all I've gotten so far when it comes to doing it. So if you're really into coloring books and you want to try something different, you can pick these up. Almost, I think like I said, every cover this month in January has got a variant that you can do a coloring on. Now the story itself is a little bit of a standalone story. We get to meet a villain. I've never heard of this villain ever before today. She goes by Dr. Poison, and what she does is she's found a way of poisoning the earth because she wants vengeance. She wants revenge on America and of course now Wonder Woman because, well, she feels they've done her in. They've done her wrong. This one is written by, oops, I just had the name. This is written by Meredith Finch and penciled by David Fincher. It's a really great story. Some really great drawings, very, very real, down-to-earth stuff. It stands alone from the other issues because it's just about her and this villain and helping the villain understand that what she's doing is wrong. She gets to use her lasso a few times. She uses her abilities, but she tries to remind the woman that it's not always about vengeance, it's also about peace. So if you haven't picked up Wonder Woman before and you're looking for something to do, this is one to start in on. Wonder Woman is one of the titles I first started reading back in 1984 when I first started reading comic books. And it's still great. Speaking of Wonder Woman, a limited issue series called The Legend of Wonder Woman just came out this month. This is an amazing story, an amazing artwork. Renee DeLiz and Ray Dillon do the artwork and the story. In a way, it's almost like another version of Wonder Woman and her story and how things came to be. So this first issue, you get to meet Wonder Woman when she's just a young princess named Diana. The story is amazing. The artwork is really good. It harkens back to a little bit of some of the Japanese animation I've seen in the past, but it doesn't follow it in that way because it's more Greek in its look. And it also has more an origin story of the Amazons and how they came to be on Paradise Island, or Themyscira as it's called. And it's a different story. So in this case, She hasn't yet left Paradise Island. Steve Trevor has not come to the island from Man's World. So it's still idyllic, it's still beautiful, but the young Princess Diana feels there's something strange going on the island, something bad that's seeping into the lives of the Amazons and the island. And she knows something bad is happening. So instead of becoming a princess that would lead her people peacefully, she wants to become a warrior. She wants to learn to fight, but her mother won't let her. So she finds a friend, a warrior of the warrior caste in the Amazons who will help her. But it's still secret. So that's a wonderful issue. I can't wait for the rest of it. It's going to be, from what I read, I think it's 9 issues. I'll double check on that, but it might be 9 issues. So if you haven't picked it up yet, that's another good buy. This one just came out this week, along with the Wonder Woman and the Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Next up, I have Titans Hunt number 4 by Dan Abnett and Steven Segovia. Really cool storyline. This is another variant storyline in a way. What happens is all the Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans, they've lost their memory that they were Titans and they were together in a team. Something's keeping them from remembering that. And it's also something else is drawing them together. And they're starting to come together and to find out and remember who they are. So the first 4 or 5 pages of the story is a flashback to something that happened that led them to fight an evil villain. But that villain, something happens, they can't remember the fight, but some of them start remembering things. And one of them gets trapped and ensnared by that villain. And they have to find out what's going on and what's making them not remember things about themselves, or that the fact that they were friends. They know each other's names, but they don't know why they're friends. They're trying to figure that out. It's a great storyline. It's number 4 in the series. Like I said, it's a really well written story. If you're interested in the Teen Titans like I am, they're another one of the characters and teams that I first started reading back in 1994. I like it for being standalone, but yet still connected in some ways to the current storylines that are going on in the New 52 that's going on. Dick Grayson no longer goes by Nightwing. Donna Troy is Donna Troy, but she's not the same Donna Troy we're used to. We get to see Hawk and Dove again. We get to see some other minor Teen Titans we haven't seen in a while, like Harold and Lilith. So it's a great title to pick up. If you're looking to read a Teen Titans storyline based on the original Teen Titans, it's a great place to go. Next up we have Dr. Fate. Not your usual Dr. Fate, an unusual Dr. Fate, a new Dr. Fate. I was hesitant at first to pick up this. This is issue number 8 in the series. It is written by Paul Levitz and drawn by Ibrahim Mustafa. Well, at least this one is. He's the guest artist on it. And he does a really remarkable job. I wouldn't say that it's like the greatest compared to the other ones. The other one has a more panel style that's reminiscent of something that almost seems like an Egyptian panel. Not a full Egyptian panel, but a dark look to it. Mustafa keeps that same dark look, but is able to make it seem alive in a way that I haven't seen yet. His colors are great. He makes things look different depending on what time of day it is. You also get to see the characters interact in a new way as the new Dr. Fate learns about his powers. This Dr. Fate, he's related to the original people who where the Dr. Fate power came from, and he's trying to figure it out. And it's also almost a really cool storyline about blended families, because his father is Egyptian and his mother is Egyptian, but his father is Muslim Egyptian, whereas his mother is not. She's Christian. So he's trying to understand his religious upbringing and how that correlates to what he's doing now, and because his powers come from an Egyptian god, and trying to just decide what's real and what's not. It's a great story about a young man who's trying to figure out his life. And I like that because I've been there myself, so I can relate to the story. So it's really relatable, really great drawings. The covers have been really cool. I like all the different covers they've had. This one's pretty cool because it looks like he's on Twitter, and Twitter has a Dr. Fate helmet as well. Well, that's all the reviews for this week. If you liked it, give it a like or a thumbs up. If you want to see more reviews, subscribe below. Look forward to hearing your comments about what you think about the books I read. Is there a book you're reading right now that you really like that I should be reading too that I haven't picked up yet? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, I almost forgot one thing. So there's some good news and some bad news that's happening in the comic book world, and I wanted to share it with you because it's my personal opinion on it. If you haven't been watching or reading the Guardians of the Galaxy or a lot of the other space adventure comic books that are out in the Marvel Universe, you'll have seen the movie The Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, a lot of the storylines wouldn't have happened without one character being brought into the comic book world. It was brought in, but it wasn't really their licensed and created character. So you thought, wow, I thought, well, at least I thought, oh my gosh, I can't wait, they're going to bring him back, it's going to be so cool. And he is. He's Rom the Space Knight, and he is coming back. So this is issue number one This is issue number one I picked up just last year at the Portland Comic Book Convention. Started reading it. I had a few issues that were later on that I got when I was younger. I never really got into it, but I realized I'm missing out on something really cool. So I wanted to get into it. But sadly, that's not the good news. The good news is, yes, Rom the Space Knight is coming back. The bad news is he's not coming back in the pages of Marvel. Yeah, it seems Marvel did not get the licensing agreement again to do a series for Rom the Space Knight. Looks like he'll be coming out in IDW. They're going to be the ones that are going to be producing or publishing his comic books. And I say his, it's a character, but still, he is a character that's really cool. So I'm a little bummed it's not going to be Marvel, which means it's not going to connect to all the other wonderful characters that are in the Marvel universe. But still, it's going to be around. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens and what's going to be like. So I'll definitely be reviewing that issue when it comes out. So I hope you've enjoyed this review, and keep watching and read more comic books.